Humor plays an important role in our lives. We all know the joyous feeling that we get when we smile and laugh and just enjoy something funny. Well, why not inject that into your profession? Well, I sat down with Eric Simon, aka The Broke Agent, to talk exactly about just how comedy can positively impact the real estate industry. If you don't know who The Broke Agent is, you gotta go check out The Broke Agent at The Broke Agent on pretty much every single social media channel. Enjoy the interview. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Matt Bonelli, and I am so excited to have the opportunity to talk to Eric Simon, aka The Broke Agent. If you are in real estate and don't know The Broke Agent, you are totally missing out, and you need to get with the program. Eric, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. AKA the BA and AKA the Crow also.
Nice.
The Crow stands for escrow.
Escrow.
Yeah.
Nice, because you're breaking escrow all the time, or getting
Eric
escrow.
Eric Escrow Simon is my middle name.
I love it. Yeah. Eric, I want to hear about how you started, The Broke Agent, what inspired you to get it going. Before you do that, I just want to acknowledge you for the fundraising you've been doing for, the Hurricane Harvey relief through the store that you have set up, selling some T-shirts. So thanks for doing that. I'm sure all the people receiving those funds are appreciative of that as well.
Yeah, of course. This girl from Houston, Nicole, reached out to me and said that it would be great to donate to the Cajun Navy and to immediate disaster relief. And we've sold over 200 shirts.
Wow.
In about 4 or 5 days. So I think we raised about $2,500 for them so far. So it's been awesome.
That's awesome, man. Bravo.
And thank you for buying one.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I ordered it too late. Otherwise, I would have been sporting it for this. But
right.
Instead, I'm in my usual button-down, whatever.
Well, you look good. It's okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, Eric, tell me about, how you kind of got into real estate and found your way to launching The Broke Agent, which is certainly something that's been missing from the real estate community.
So I got into real estate just kind of by accident, actually. I knew a girl that was the receptionist at a brokerage called Hilton and Highland in Beverly Hills. And I actually quit my job at the Laugh Factory Comedy Club a couple months prior to starting at that brokerage. So she basically hit me up when I was unemployed, making a bunch of vines and trying my attempt at Twitter comedy. And she saw that I had a lot of time on my hands and said, hey, you should come over and be the temporary receptionist. So not really knowing what exactly I was getting into, I became the receptionist at that brokerage, which is an awesome brokerage. That's my dog who just made that squeaky noise. Sorry about that.
No worries.
And I became the temporary receptionist for about 2 months and then got hired as a full-time assistant for an agent and then became a buyer's agent working for a team. And then now I'm actually my own agent. So during that time when I was a buyer's agent working for a team is when I started The Broke Agent.
Nice. And then what was kind of the inspiration to start The Broke Agent? And were you did you come out with a bang and kind of just launch it? Or how did that launch plan work for you?
So I had a friend by the name of Wes Pinkston that wanted me to help out with another business venture that he was working on. And he wanted me to do the marketing and blogging for it. And when we met up, we had a couple beers and we basically decided to completely pivot from the normal business venture and start a funny comedy blog. So from there, we basically started tweeting and it got picked up very quickly. We got a lot of positive feedback and then we decided to make it into a media company, which it kind of is.
Nice. How did you grow such a large following with The Broke Agent, when you launched it? I mean, you're up about almost 85,000 followers on Instagram right now, almost 50,000 on Twitter, probably a ton on Facebook. Obviously, you're creating awesome content, but how did you let people know that The Broke Agent was out there and get people to start following along?
So because it is kind of like a unique comedy page in real estate, people started tagging each other. So for the Instagram audience, it kind of grew organically through that, just through tags and through hashtags and liking a bunch of photos, because off the bat, you kind of got to get it started. Mm-hmm. And so we would search hashtag real estate, like a bunch of photos. So when you saw the name The Broke Agent pop up, you would say, oh, that's kind of intriguing. Who the hell's The Broke Agent? They would look, see it's a comedy page, and then follow. So right off the bat, it got a lot of traction just because of all the tags and the likes and because there really wasn't anything else out there like that. And at the very beginning, I think Tom Ferry tweeted or retweeted one of our tweets. And that's kind of when we realized that it could get big just from other people actually promoting it. So it grew pretty organically, pretty quickly. And yeah, just searching hashtag real estate, liking people's photos, interacting. And that's how it's gotten to where it is now.
Nice. That's getting some shout outs from Tom Ferry. And I know
The legend.
that you also had Ryan Serhant sporting one of your shirts at some point on Instagram, which is pretty good.
We did. That was awesome.
Which is pretty awesome, getting that $1 million agent out there, of course.
The antithesis to who I
am. So, with that, what platform is kind of the future for Broke Agent right now? I mean, you're creating all different types of content, memes. The tweets are awesome. Saw you were doing some live tweeting this afternoon.
Of the realtor in a coffee shop?
Yes, pretty awesome.
There was actually nobody sitting next to me. I completely made that entire thing up.
It's awesome. Where do you come up with? Well,
authenticity.
Okay. 2 questions then. So what platform do you see as like the future for the Broke Agent? And with that, is that a quality platform for real estate agents to use? And then where do you come up with this stuff? Like, is this just shit that you have in the back of your brain, or is this, you're just that good?
I'm just that good. No, thank you. Well, a lot of the content comes from actual experience. The more real estate transactions that I do, the more showings and open houses, inspections, everything like that. That's where the actual content comes from, is from personal experience, from reading Inman, from reading Realtor.com, and just kind of picking and poaching whatever content, not poaching, stealing the content, but like taking an idea and then wrapping comedy around it. For as far as the future for which platform, I think it's really necessary that the Broke Agent stays on all the main platforms, being Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat even, because each platform kind of provides something unique to whoever follows it. So if you follow it on Instagram, you could like and comment and tag someone without anyone else really seeing, which is important for a lot of our, I guess, edgier posts, because why would you share a post that's making fun of your seller or your buyer when you're in the middle of a transaction? Mm-hmm. So that's when Instagram's great, because it's a little bit more intimate and private. And that's definitely our most interactive. Facebook's great because you could just press a button to share it immediately. So when it's a post that is a little bit more shareable and kind of client friendly, Facebook's really good. And Twitter is, it's not my favorite platform. I really pretty much just tweet out. Besides today, the live tweeting, I tweet out exactly what's on my Instagram and Facebook, but you got to go where the people are. So if people are on Twitter, you got to be on Twitter. Same with Facebook and Instagram. But I think it's important. Snapchat also, which has kind of gotten taken over by Instagram Story, just because you got to be producing on every single platform. It's kind of difficult to keep that up. So now I just kind of do my stuff on Instagram Story that I would normally do on Snapchat.
Yeah, I definitely see a big difference in real estate agents like kind of expanding on Instagram versus Snapchat. Maybe just because they were there first too, and probably weren't on Snapchat.
Yeah, if you already have a built-in audience, it's easier to work with that. And Snapchat is kind of going through the ageification that all the other apps, where they kind of start as like a teenage girl app and then work its way up. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Instagram, if you're there and you have an audience, you may as well just do it, because they have filters now also. So.
Yeah. Very true. Now, do your clients that you work with in real estate follow you on the Broke Agent? Are you seeing some type of connection between your real estate business and the Broke Agent, where your clients are like, hey, this is hilarious stuff. I want to work with Eric because he's awesome. He's hilarious. I'll probably have a fantastic time like going through a real estate transaction with him. And on the flip side, are you seeing a negative effect on your business from the Broke Agent at all? Or?
What clients? I don't really know exactly what you're referring. No, yeah, they. My clients love
true definition of the Broke Agent.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, my clients love the fact that I am doing this, and that's how I've reached a lot of them. It's because the majority of my clients have just been my friends that are starting to buy condos here in Los Angeles and Brentwood and Santa Monica. And they like that it's authentic, and I will even ask them sometimes and say, hey, like, remember this with the inspector? You mind if I tweet this out? And they get a kick out of it because they also want to have fun with it. The home buying process should be a fun time. So when I could provide a little humor, it definitely helps. And it's definitely helped me with business in the sense that it's gotten the word out that I'm a realtor without pushing it in anyone's faces the traditional way. posting on Facebook or Twitter, me with my listings or me on Broker's Caravan or anything like that. I think it's just kind of happened more organically because they know that I'm doing the broke agent. They also connect me to being a real estate agent. So it's been really positive. And I've gotten a couple referrals from agents not in Los Angeles because now kind of the whole community knows a realtor in LA, which is me. So that's helped. I haven't closed anything from it, but I've at least opened a couple doors.
Hey, that's always a start, right? Adding to that database.
Exactly.
So what's like the craziest, funniest story that you've posted or tweeted about that is an actual real estate experience that you've had or you've observed?
A couple things. I've told this kind of multiple times, but it's worth it every time. Is I was sitting in an open house in the Palisades a couple years back, and I had a seller who was clinically insane. I don't want to really describe his looks because that might give it away. But the guy was completely out of his mind. He's always smoking pot every time we got there. The house completely reeked of weed, and he was just kind of like, he looked like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, actually, if you could picture that. So it was a 2-story kind of colonial house. It was really big, really nice. It was like $4 million. I wasn't the listing agent. I was just sitting the open houses, for the record. And I went up to his room when I was cleaning up before a Broker's Caravan, and laying on the bed is a 12-gauge silver shotgun. And I went up to him and I was just like, hey, you gotta get rid of this shotgun. Like, this is, we're sitting in an open house here. People aren't going to want to go in the master when there's a shotgun laying on the bed. Yeah. And he's like, oh, of course. And so I'm sitting downstairs with my friend, and he goes, Eric, come out here. And I come outside, and he's standing at top of the stairs with the shotgun, pointed it at us. And then he makes like a joking, like boom, boom sound. And we dive behind the pillars. And it was actually one of the scariest moments of my life. And he was laughing his ass off as if it was like, really, really funny to him. It was like a good joke, but really I was honestly scared for my life. So that was awful.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that was crazy. And then go ahead.
Was the caravan already started? Like, were there potential for like other brokers coming in the door? Like,
no, this was like 20 minutes before. And then he would walk his little stupid chihuahua around during the entire open house. And he was just an awful, awful human being. So yeah, that was one of the scariest moments of my life, if not one of the scariest moments in real estate. So,
wow.
Yeah.
You were going to go into another story there before I asked that question.
Yeah. Another story is I actually kind of lost a listing for one of my bosses a couple years back because I had put a glass on a piece of wood. I put my water bottle on a piece of wood. So they staged the house with this new wooden furniture. And I walked into the house. It was like 90 degrees out. I was sweating my ass off. And I sat down for 1 second to tie my shoe. And in doing so, I put the water bottle on a piece of, on like the table. And the lady saw that and freaked out and took it away immediately because she said a ring was going to develop, which now I understand. And basically the listing was lost amongst other problems too. But that was one of the causes, definitely. So I learned from my mistakes, and now I never put a glass down without putting a coaster on before. So
gotta have the coasters. Although if she's that crazy, maybe a listing worth not having.
Exactly. I didn't think that really mattered when it came down to it.
Nice. So with the broke agent, like, what's your long-term vision for this? I mean, you just successfully raised some funding through Kickstarter for an animated series, or at least a pilot for an animated series. Congratulations, by the way. So what's kind of the long-term vision? If you could wave your magic wand and in a couple of years, like, look at the broke agent and be like, yes, what does it look like?
Magic wand would be a HBO or Netflix animation series. That is definitely the long-term goal, because I would love to write for animation and write funny real estate humor as kind of the inner monologue of a struggling real estate agent in Los Angeles. Knowing that is slightly unrealistic, I always kind of wanted to go the route of a media company, kind of wrapping more news around comedy, kind of like an in-bin news, touching upon all aspects of social media, hosting conferences, doing stuff like that. But that's also such a tall order. And I'm only one person. I have a few writers, but it's just, you got to congregate so many different humans to produce so much content and rely on so many different people that it seems a little bit unrealistic also. And my motives, not my motives, but my drive for this has pivoted so many times as to where I'm going with it. At first, I thought it was going to be a book. I thought it was going to be a movie. I thought it was going to be, a merchandise store. Like it just keeps pivoting depending on where I'm at in my life, how much real estate stuff I'm doing, how much time I have, or kind of where the puck is going in the industry itself. So I know that's kind of a jumbled answer, but long-term goal, would love to have a funny animation series. Short-term goal, I think definitely continue to produce content, grow the audience, eventually wrap some news around it, and kind of just be the go-to place for realtors to always laugh.
So do you think you will keep your foot in the door as a real estate agent while you're doing this? Or is it something you'll eventually, I mean, obviously if this thing picks up steam, it's going to need a lot more of your time, right?
Yeah. And it keeps going back and forth because when I'm busy with real estate, I don't have time, as any real estate agent knows, to keep producing content. But when I'm not busy, I actually have this thing to fall back on. So it's kind of like the perfect combo, but it also kind of eats at myself in a way as to if I'm focusing too much on the broke agent, the real estate stuff kind of gets left behind. So I definitely want to keep being a realtor. I just joined a new brokerage recently that I absolutely love. And I do like it. It's just, it's a struggle being in Los Angeles, being young, finding clients. And I definitely find solace in doing the broke agent. I hope other people do too.
I would imagine LA is probably one of the toughest markets to start off as a real estate agent. It's certainly there's a lot of people there, but there's also a lot of real estate agents, I'm sure, just similar to the New York market. And really, I guess any market, it's all scaled, right? But with the attraction of luxury properties and things like that, which I'm sure you can probably attest to that. People get into a market, oh, great, this is going to be like luxury real estate, I'm going to crush it. And they're like, oh, wait, I'm not selling those things right now.
Yeah, especially where I started in Beverly Hills, just kind of as a buyer's agent. That's where a lot of this comedy kind of came from. It's just from the door knocking and the cold calling that I actually did. And just seeing the response or lack of response and just being frightened by how much time I was putting into it and how little I was getting out of it actually in terms of listings. Just getting told to fuck off regularly on the phone, in person. Why at the time list your house with a 24-year-old guy that doesn't know as much as the 100 other people that they could list their house with at the time? So it was really hard to get in the door. And yeah, so that's why it's a lot where a lot of the comedy came from.
Well, you survived longer than most. I guess if you make it past the first 2 years, it's considered a success in the real estate industry. Which is a good thing. Make sure you have a coaster underneath that, by the way.
I know, seriously. I actually was just thinking that. I'll get thrown out of my own apartment, my girlfriend's apartment.
You don't want that.
By the way, this is my girlfriend's apartment, hence the pink headphones.
But looking sharp.
Okay. Thank you.
You should probably take them with you and use them now forever.
This podcast keeps going well. I'll keep these. It's a good luck.
So, tell me about your thoughts in terms of why is something like the broke agent and comedy needed in the real estate industry, and how can you see this actually helping to improve, particularly the sales industry, which seems to just be fraught with. I mean, you go on Inman or any site, and it's always like, oh no, Zillow's coming to get us. These people are coming to get us. It seems like agents and brokers in particular are just freaking out all the time. So, how can you see, the broke agent and comedy playing in a role in helping improve the industry?
So when I first started at my old brokerage in Beverly Hills, it was just crazy, the atmosphere inside of that brokerage. Everybody running in, running out, cursing on the phone. Everybody looked so stressed out. And this is as I was the receptionist sitting there watching all this. And I now feel that, obviously, the stress that comes with it and the daily anxiety that comes with dealing with clients and maintaining your relationships with everybody. It's, especially if you're working with a friend that is a client, you're constantly hoping they're not mad at you. Like, I just feel like that's what real estate is just constantly like making sure people are mad at you, right? I mean, you don't want your seller to be mad at you, your buyer, you're finagling all of these conversations and just trying to manage everyone's expectations. And it's so damn stressful that having comedy that does bring to light those actual circumstances is extremely necessary. And going to conferences, I've had people come up to me and actually say like, "Hey, thank you so much. Like, I look forward to your daily content because it actually makes me laugh and relieves a little bit of stress that definitely comes with it." So I think it is necessary, just in this atmosphere of constant content coming from all angles. Like, the fear content, there's horrible news every single day about everything. Zillow is coming to get everybody. Agents are going to be obsolete one day. All the shit that you hear about. And it's just like, and all the 10 ways to be a better realtor, 10 ways, just all these articles that are like self-help improvement stuff that possibly does work, but all the motivational shit, it didn't hit with me, I guess. So I wanted something that the millennial generation and other realtors could look to, just to laugh at and consume content that they would find relatable.
Nice. So yeah. With that, you mentioned millennials. Like, is that generation the primary target, or do you see this being attractive to people of all generations? I mean, with the median age of a realtor in the United States of being somewhere around 50 years old, obviously the millennial troops will grow at some point, right, once they decide that their finance job sucks or they want to quit engineering and like, oh, fine, I'll find real estate. But what's kind of your primary target audience and the secondary audience for the broke agent?
Yeah, I definitely think the primary audience is millennials at the time, because being a millennial, I could kind of relate to them on a pop culture level, I guess. Mm-hmm. A lot of my tweets or merch or Instagrams, anything like that is kind of related to what a millennial is consuming. But I think it's definitely being consumed and accepted by the other generations as well. Because there hasn't really been anything like this, at least that I've seen, that will kind of discuss the inner monologue of a real estate agent. So I've definitely connected with people in the older generation as well.
Nice. Yeah, I think I haven't seen anything else like it either. I think you're really tapping into something that has, and also you've been doing it for years now. So it definitely has longevity, which I think is really awesome. So, when I think about that, well, actually, before I get into this question, tell us what we can expect from the animated series that you're working on right now, at least the pilot that you're working on. Where can we find it when it's done? What can we expect from the episode? Is it going to be like a 30-minute kind of thing, similar to, I think, whenever I think of animated series, I think of Archer, which is right, one of my favorite shows on FX. But what can we expect?
Well, I just took the money from the Kickstarter and transferred it straight to my bank account. So I'm actually not even going to make any series. So nothing.
Jokes on us.
Jokes on all you guys. Yeah. So animation is expensive as hell, and it's like $5,000 to $10,000 per minute, depending on like what type of animation you're trying to do. Similar to Archer is kind of the look and feel that I'm going for. So we're basically going to start off with a minute-long pilot and kind of hope that it grows from there, because we raised $7,300, and that's pretty much all we could afford to make a minute-long pilot. Mm-hmm. The actual episode itself is going to be a mockery of a real estate agent profile video. So those minute and a half long videos where the realtors describing themselves. They have like a client talking about how great they are. There's light piano music going on in the background. And it's basically going to be that, except he's saying everything, and everything he's saying is being negated by the actual actions that are going on in the background. So I think it's going to be funny, but who knows? I mean, I'm not an animator, so it's one thing to have it look funny written down and have the idea in my head, but to actually see it come out, I'm really excited. Nice. So it should be ready in about 7 weeks.
Awesome. And how can kind of the what do you have a name for your fans or followers, the broke agent community or whatever?
No, I don't.
The Bro-Leavers.
The Bro-Leavers. No, but that's a good idea to come up with a name for them.
Yeah. So what can they all do? What can, people like me who follow your stuff help when this thing is launched? How can we help, besides just sharing it, how can we help increase exposure that gets it to the next level, where you get the funding that you need to actually create a full series for it?
Well, the goal with this is eventually to monetize the series. I mean, I'm not looking to just do a pilot as a one-off and then it gets shared, 100, 200 times, reaches a bunch of people, and that's it. I'm hoping that this becomes like a series where I could come out with these once every month, once every few weeks, when I have an animator down that I'm comfortable working with, and I could just kind of come up with the concept, they could bang it out, and then I could have a title sponsor or whoever else wants to attach their name to it. So that's kind of where the monetization aspect comes in. So other than sharing it or liking it and commenting, definitely if you have a company or know anybody that wants to become attached to this, I think it's a really good opportunity to reach a massive audience of real estate professionals, not just realtors, title, mortgage, escrow, anybody in that realm. And also just the consumer. I mean, everybody's bought or sold a house at some point, and everybody kind of has interacted with the real estate agent, so they will understand that humor. So I think it's a lot broader audience, or a lot larger of an audience than what it is now. So yeah, sharing it, interacting with it, telling everybody about it. But to help us immediately to get funding for the next couple episodes would be definitely to partner and be the title sponsor for it. Kind of like how. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so any of you $1 million listing agents out there who want to attach your name to this, and you're listening to this or watching it, connect up with Eric and throw him some dough.
That's right. Throw me some dough.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
I don't know. I was gonna draw a parallel example to I don't know, like how Barstool Sports does they did a Bills Mafia, which the Buffalo Bills tailgate. I mean, you're in New York,
Yep.
Bills Mafia, but they did a documentary on Bills Mafia. I think it was like 8 to 12 minutes, but they had a title sponsorship with Dollar Shave Club. So it'd be something like that, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods, something like that. I don't know. Obviously not Dick's, but that would be sweet.
That'd be pretty awesome. Be hilarious too.
Yeah. Brought to you by Dick's. Yeah. Every season starts at Dick's.
Oh man, you think of that name, it's just perfect.
Uh-huh.
So what is starting your own business? Starting your own business as a real estate agent is certainly your own business, but really as a realtor, you're operating a business within inside a business unless you start your own brokerage. But the broke agent is definitely its own business. How has starting a business like that impacted your life? I mean, you kind of took a different path than the most traditional people, where they either get a job, or if they do start a career as a real estate agent, they go work for a brokerage and try to get some leads in. But when you're starting your own business, it's all on you to kind of make this work. So how has that impacted your life? And has it, do you enjoy that lifestyle? Has it made it better for you? Or, are you constantly stressed all the time and freaking out, or what?
Well, if I was just doing real estate, I would be completely miserable. And I'm really glad that I have the broke agent just to kind of be my place of solace, because it's kind of like my baby that I've seen grow. And it's definitely helped me understand consumer behavior and understand social media, which definitely helps for my actual real estate career as well, is creating a brand and realizing that people just are attracted to authenticity. And that's really what drives the broke agent. I think finding out what people like, what people don't like, because you're constantly testing things. I mean, every tweet, every Instagram, every post, every shirt, anything that I put out there, I like to see how people interact with it. Sometimes you lose followers, sometimes you gain followers, sometimes you post something that you think is going to flop and then it does really well. And then you keep that topic in your mind, knowing like, hey, this, Zillow Sucks post did really well. I'm going to do something similar to that a month from now, and kind of coming out with a schedule. I don't have a schedule. I don't know why I just said that. I don't have a schedule at all. I'm making this sound way more.
Content calendar? No way.
No content calendar. I'd come up with shit as it goes. But it's impacted my life very positively, because I've gotten the chance to make a name for myself in real estate without really being that successful of a realtor as of yet. Hoping to grow that as well, obviously. But, the fact that I could go speak at a conference or put on a broke agent shirt and see other realtors get excited about it. Like, just the excitement is the coolest part, is when people reach out to me, or when I see someone at an open house and they're like, oh my God, you're the broke agent. That's awesome. Like this, I love your content. And that it feels so good to see that people actually like something that I created. So that's always what I've enjoyed in life, is people reacting positively to stuff I create, whether it was a funny Facebook post back in 2007 or this. That's my favorite thing, is making people laugh or enjoy the content.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
So with everything that you've learned from starting out in real estate, getting into comedy before that, and now launching your own business while still, kind of merging everything together, what advice would you give to someone starting out in any of those categories? Or, entrepreneurship is like the coolest thing right now, with Gary Vaynerchuk having like well over millions of followers and stuff. You kind of fit you are an entrepreneur, so what advice would you give to someone who either wants to start on real estate, start in comedy, or start their own business?
This sounds, just taken right from Gary Vaynerchuk's mouth, is that to punt whatever he says, like punt your weaknesses. And I really do agree with that, just because you got to stay in the lane of your strengths and know what you're good at. And I think real estate is such a unique industry that you could actually garner your strengths. If you're not good at cold calling, you're not good at door knocking, but you're great at networking, you could choose that lane. Or if you're great at social media, you could choose that lane. Like, so many different realtors have success in different ways, that it's really important to know what you're not good at and not waste your time doing that. Like, when I was door knocking and cold calling for that year, in the back of my head, I knew it was bullshit and was a waste of my time, but I still was just going through the motions thinking that it was a numbers game. But when you're half-assing something, it's not going to happen for you. Yeah. So I think when you're starting a brand or being a realtor, it's just important to stick with what you're good at and just stay true to that and stay true to your actual voice. Because maintaining the voice is the most important aspect, especially for the broke agent. You got to keep that same narrative going. People have to kind of envision what you're actually saying and be like, oh, that's the broke agent talking. Because then if you start posting ads and start selling stuff to people, they get pissed off. But you have to incorporate that in an authentic way. I've used authentic like 15 times in this podcast, but whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say, you had mentioned authenticity, but
5,000 times. Yeah.
Punting your weaknesses, right, and focusing on your strengths really is the embodiment of authenticity, right? So many people try to, fake it till they make it as a realtor, showcase like luxury lifestyle or something to say that they're a luxury real estate agent or whatever, rather than just focusing on who they really are, which I think is certainly what you've done with the broke agent, which is why it's seen great success, and I hope that it sees more success.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all about being refreshing and not doing exactly what everybody else is doing. Because how many realtors do you see on your Facebook timeline posting that they're a top producing luxury agent, and then a picture of an open house slapped with a motivational quote on it? It's just like, it's so cliche and consistent and boring. Like it's disgusting seeing all that.
Especially the ones like, it's just their feed is only that. It's just all like, hey, here's my new listing, here's my new open house, contact me if you're looking to buy or sell, because everything I touch turns to sold. It's like, oh, clever.
I know. It's just nonstop. And that's a lot of the stuff that I focused on at the beginning, is just completely making fun of the stereotypical kind of like bro agent that's posting pictures of their watches. Like, not everybody could be the Altman brothers, not everybody is a top producing luxury agent. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Nobody is.
Yeah,
like the top 1% or 2% is, even in Los Angeles. Just, there's 150 people in each brokerage. There's 5 or 10 good agents. You can't all be doing that.
Yeah, and you go and research those guys that you mentioned, and you see like, it took them years and years to get to that point. They were doing leases when they started out, editing their lives just like everybody else. So,
or they're not even there yet, and they're just acting like they're there. That's half of it.
Yeah,
and I know you do kind of got to put on an image, because if clients do see you on Facebook or social media, you do want to portray an image of success, but at the same time, people know when you're bullshitting. Like, people are smarter than people think. Yeah. So when you see something and you're like, that's just cheesy, and it just kind of like makes you uncomfortable inside, that's just the worst type of realtor, the worst type of like, I think that's what gives the real estate community kind of that negative charge in a way, is that there are so many douchebags.
Yes, no doubt. There's like 1.2 million realtors. That's a boiled down version of like 2.5 million real estate agents. And the top 10% are really doing all the business, which is,
Yeah.
so you have a lot of people who either think it's going to be easy money and get into it saying like, oh, I'll just like post a couple pictures of some flashy cars and it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, when they get into it, they're like, holy shit, I actually have to work.
Yeah, it's fun to see the initial excitement of a new realtor. They get the $1 million or the $1 Million Agent book. They did their crash course. They passed their test. They join Keller, and they're just so fired up. They start doing the posts, and then a couple months go by, and it's just like, it's not what you thought it was it?
Yeah, they're like,
Like,
holy,
it
I gotta
wasn't
wake
that-
up in the morning and like actually go to work.
Yeah, like, oh, I could work from home. This is the best thing ever. I could make my own schedule. It's like, nah, well, if you're not putting in the work, it's not going to happen for you. And I'm not saying it's happening for me. I'm not preaching to that population. I'm just saying that it's not, being a realtor is not what people think it is. Like, there is so much stuff that happens behind the scenes, which is what the broke agent touches upon, is all those little things that you're constantly thinking about throughout the day that drive you nuts.
Yeah. Well, and it crosses into all businesses, right? I mean, you are putting in the work with the broke agent, which is why it's seeing, great success. So I commend you for that, for sure.
Thank you.
So Eric, for the people who don't know, where can we find you online? What's the best place to reach you if people are looking to either connect with you or check out your best content?
So it's at The Broke Agent on everything. We have thebrokeagent.com, which is a blog, which I haven't updated in a while, but I will update it soon. It's hard to come up with content for that. Like, you got to keep, like, blog posts to me have kind of become a little bit lost, because a little one-hitter funny video of a monkey jumping up and down is better than saying 10 things to eat at an open house,
Are you looking for content creators?
I am looking for, yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
content creators, hit me up. Let's start an army. Let's overtake everybody. This could be big. Thebrokeagent.com. Then newly, thebrokeagentstore.com has all new merchandise, which are selling like crazy. We have awesome shirts, mugs, sweatshirts, cell phone cases, baseball bats, whatever the hell you want with broke agent stuff. We don't have baseball bats actually, but literally whatever you want. And it's stuff that like actually looks cool and will probably get you leads because they're conversation starters. So I think that's it's kind of the next phase of the broke agent that's happening now, is selling cool real estate merch and apparel that people want to wear anywhere. Wear it at the gym, wear it at a real estate conference, where people are going to stop you and say like, hey, that shirt's hilarious. What do you do? I'm a realtor. It's like walking a dog, except it's just your shirt. People are going to stop and talk to you. So thebrokeagentstore.com, or you can check out the link in my Instagram bio at The Broke Agent. Then we're on YouTube also, Twitter, everything at The Broke Agent, and
Awesome.
Kickstarter as well.
Awesome.
Well, that's already funded, so not Kickstarter.
Don't go to Kickstarter.
Don't go to Kickstarter.
He already has your money and put it in his bank
I
account.
already have it. It's gone. But yeah, check out the merchandise. I'm telling you, this is. I want to see it everywhere at real estate conference. I want to do shirts for specific brokerages, hats, just everything. Super excited about it. I've just partnered with this guy, Zach Hammer, who is an e-commerce expert, and we're doing really well right now, and I'm really excited about it. It's kind of like the audience that I've built is finally paying off because they're wanting this apparel, and it's great.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's how you know you have a loyal following for sure. I picked up a couple shirts. So if any of you out there listening, watching have not picked up some merch, go to thebrokeagentstore.com, pick up something, get a mug. Cause that's like, you all drink coffee. Like, it's just, let's face it. Every real estate agent loves their coffee. Get a really sweet ass mug.
I got funny alcohol jokes on there. I got everything. So I'm going to come out with new merchandise like every week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Eric, I appreciate your time, man. Any thoughts before we say goodbye to everybody?
No, I think I said everything.
Awesome. Well,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Thanks everybody for watching and listening. Check out The Broke Agent everywhere and buy some merch.
Buy some merch.
All right, later.
All right, thank you. See ya.
Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed the interview. If you want to pick up an awesome t-shirt just like this, you can check it out at thebrokeagentstore.com. If you guys like these interviews and want to see me doing more of these, drop a comment below. If you have any suggestions or things that you're looking for in an interview, let me know and I'll see if I can make it happen. Have a great day.